Dennis, PragerU and other conservative platforms were cut off from advertising, and recently other conservative platforms have been blacklisted from fundraising platforms like Patreon and GoFundMe. Do you think that this seemingly targeted campaign of blacklisting conservative outlets will continue as we head into another election cycle?
Oh, it has nothing to do with election cycles. The biggest battle, in effect, that I've had to wage in my life, rhetorically and intellectually, is for people to understand the left, not liberals, the left. The left is totalitarian. There has never been an exception. That is the essence of it, is to control everything and suppress everything we differ with.
Yeah.
The left does not value liberty.
Right.
Except sexual liberty.
No.
It does not value liberty. It's not one of its values. And so it has as a deep-seated tactic the suppression of all those who differ with them.
Yes.
And that's it. This is just part of that. Chick-fil-A does not belong in our city. These are mayors.
Right.
New York City, Chicago, mayors saying Chick-fil-A does not. What does that mean? Has Chick-fil-A in any way discriminated against anyone? No,
Everyone
never.
can get a chicken sandwich.
But the owner believes that marriage should be between a man and a woman. That is enough.
Yes.
You differ with us, you are scum. That is how the left has always operated. Since Stalin called Trotsky a fascist,
Yeah.
It has never differed. The left is the enemy of liberty, the enemy of tolerance. Alan Dershowitz, a lifelong liberal Democrat, professor of law at Harvard University, said to me on video, as a liberal, as an American, as a Jew, I know the left is my enemy, not the right.
Right. So we're talking about people, and recently Google's CEO testified under oath in front of Congress that its algorithms cannot be manipulated by humans. But again, given how PragerU was targeted by Google and YouTube's algorithms, what do you make of that?
Well, it's nonsense. And anyway, when you appeal it, they stick with the algorithm. So it's pointless. It's either a lie or meaningless. There is no third alternative.
Well,
what an algorithm takes Victor Hansen's lecture on the Korean War, 5 minutes on the Korean War, and lumps it with pornography? What algorithm takes Alan Dershowitz's video on Israel's legal founding and lumps it with pornography?
Yeah.
They're full of crap. They will lie because they can get away with it. Who's going to catch them? The New York Times, the Washington Post, the LA Times, CBS, ABC, NBC? Who's going to catch them?
Not in a million years. And so I guess that leads me to my next question. It's really a problem of transparency. What do you want to see out of this president, who, by the way, has had his reach to the American people muzzled on Twitter and Facebook? What do you want to see from his administration in terms of encouraging these tech conglomerates, some of the most powerful platforms in the world, to actually be forthcoming in how they come to decisions that seem like arbitrarily blacklisting?
It's actually, I'm not sure
conservatives?
if it's the president can do this alone. The Congress has to have hearings and ask serious questions of these people from Google. In other words, do you or do you not claim that you are an open forum for all views? Let's go. If you claim you're a left-wing only, or largely, or predominantly, then we can close the hearing.
Right.
You're honest, no issue. But you claim to be open, then how are 80 Prager University videos? We have 4 Pulitzer Prize winners on our faculty, or people who give our 5-minute lectures. We have 4 former prime ministers. We have professors from Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, the whole 9 yards. But if they're not acceptable because they don't repeat left-wing shibboleths, then clearly you are a left-wing organization. You don't want honorable conservatives on board. Say it. We don't have any problem with you. But you claim to be open, and that appears to be a lie.
You have filed suit against Google, and I don't know what details you can get into it, but could you just
Yeah, we
explain to our
filed, yes,
audience where we are?
based exactly on that. You claim to be an open forum. You're clearly not, and therefore you need to be called to task. And by the way, the first judge who heard the case said this was, what is the word? There's a word for when advertisers exaggerate, something about hyperbole or acceptable. Anyway, some word dismissing it. In other words, we all understand you're really not open to all views,
right.
And so you're just exaggerating when you say you are.
Right.
Well, that's pretty big.
There is a certain irony in that Facebook is the most pure example. I mean, it epitomizes free markets. This was created by a man who didn't even graduate from the Ivy League school in which he attended, and actually created Facebook in his dorm room, in Mark Zuckerberg. And here, over a decade later, I mean, he is literally under the guise of Russia collusion. He's destroying people's livelihoods, the deplatforming of average Americans. These people rely on their reach and their social media activism. There's a certain irony in what's happening.
Well, not really. I mean, the guy, look, the rarest of human traits is courage. So even if the guy were really a centrist, which I doubt he is, but let's say he were, he doesn't want to take on the left. There's no price paid taking on the right. You take on the left, your life is destroyed.
No.
And not to mention that people will not let you eat dinner. People will scream at your kids in your house. I mean, the price we pay for not being on the left and being outspoken and well-known is a high price. People don't want to pay it.